Welcome all you amazing people to our Aries full moon reading. The Aries full moon is going to be reaching its fullest on October 20th, around 8:56 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you can adjust for that, because that's going to be at the very climax of all the energies. This is an Aries full moon, so you got all that fiery energy of Aries being a fire sign, and then multiply that times the regular, just huge energy of a full moon, and you've got Shazam! You got all this energy coming in, a lot of energy. Of course, with the full moon and with all this amplification, emotions are also going to be amplified in a huge way. So just know whatever emotion that you're focusing on, and whatever emotion you choose during that time, you're going to feel it in a big way. But it's wonderful. I mean, you can feel the energy up to a week before the full moon, up to a week or so after the full moon. The more closer we get to the full moon, the more intense it is, the more dreams you're going to have, so you're going to feel all that. So if you feel out of sorts, just look up at the sky and go, the full moon. That is why my emotions are feeling very, expanded. What's great too is we had 2 full moons in a row in Aquarius in July and August, and then we just had a full moon in Pisces last month. So that had us all on this track of dreamy times, and then we followed that up with the energy of the Pisces full moon, which was about putting some practical plans to those dreams. So putting some plans around the steps towards that dream. And now we have all this blast of energy that we can use and focus it onto those steps. However, there's always a however, right? Also keep in mind that moving from Pisces to Aries, we're ending the cycle of the zodiac signs. We reached the end of Pisces and we're moving in to the beginning again with Aries. And so this might bring some new awareness, and it might cause you to desire to make revisions to the dream, make revisions to the plan. So you might alter your path a little bit, and that's totally okay. So if you feel that energy of wanting to switch things up, don't resist that, because it is part of this beautiful energy that will help you with all of that. Now, the last new moon we had in Aries was back on April 11th of this year, and that was a time of taking action on things. So when you look back around April 11th and see what was going on around that time, what kind of actions you did initiate, because now is also the time to reevaluate. You plant seeds and everything with a new moon. It grows into the harvest of the full moon. And then as you wane away from that to head back towards a new moon again, in that whole cycle of Aries new moon to Aries full moon, back to Aries new moon, it's like 6 months between a new moon and a full moon in the sign, and then back again. So, this moving away from the full moon will be a time where you're also going to be looking at what you're ready to let go of. So, there's all of this reevaluation type of energy coming with this full moon, because of the ending of that big cycle of Aries to Pisces and going back into Aries again, as well as the full moon. You're reaching the climax of the full moon and headed backward. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to do a reading for each sign, and the question we're kind of going to look at is, what can you reevaluate? But really, I really feel like with all this energy, it's where can you direct this lightning bolt of energy that's coming? What advice does Spirit and the Creator have for us on where we can direct it for the most beneficial experience and most in alignment of who we want to be and where we want to go? So we're going to go ahead and jump right into your reading right now. All right, all my Taurians, this is your reading for the full moon in Aries, and we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Spirit of the Animals Oracle, and just see what overall for this 3-week period around the full moon, what the Creator wants you to know about where you might direct this lightning bolt of energy. All right, Creator for our Taurians, what do you want them to know about where they can focus that, or just what they want to know? Okay, this one right here is just saying it's me. Why are you shuffling more? So we will look at here. Yeah, we got the Ram, Perseverance. And it says, you have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, you can definitely, you have many gifts. And I love this, that about the power. It can't withstand the power of your mind. You, of course, being an earth sign, can ground this lightning bolt energy, this it's an extreme amount of energy we're going to be feeling, and you are able to bring that down into the earth and really ground it and use it and funnel it and focus it. So you definitely will have this beautiful transformative type energy where you can just take it and reallocate it where you want it, to get you to your mountaintop, to get you towards your dream, toward those things that you want to have unfold in your life. The energy that comes with this card for the Ram is perseverance, like it said, trust yourself, breakthroughs, strength, agility, abundance, success, mental activity, creativity, fertility, and virility. A lot of illities. It says the majestic bighorn sheep or ram is a master of agility and bravery. They navigate rugged terrain at incredible speeds and land with confidence on the narrowest ledge. They have sharp vision and an acute sense of smell. All of these traits help the bighorn sheep survive. The male ram has a unique set of horns that spiral out from their head. They never drop, and they grow throughout the bighorn's life, symbolizing his fine mind. It is a gift ram people share with their totem. Horns are an extension of the skull and have been called natural antenna for intuition. The ram is a competitive lover, so be on guard for aggressive tendencies in your love life. Jealousy should be avoided. Yeah, and, of course, Taurians are very much, connected with love, romance, and all that. So definitely it's good for you with all this fiery energy to keep it under control, not, get angry about things, but, possibly refunnel that instead of going in that direction into more love, right? More intimacy, more action on your love, whether that's romantic or friendships, family, friends, that type of thing. It says, if Ram is your totem, you have success on your side. Yay! Ram urges you to use your fine mind to your advantage. You will persevere and go to great heights to succeed. Your reserves of strength and courage, combined with your intuition, will help you navigate the toughest circumstances. So call upon Ram to make you brave in the face of risk and get ready to take a leap of faith. Your many talents will help you land with sure success. So, awesome. These cards do come with some questions or kind of advice. And there's 4 of them, so you can consider this, whatever resonates with you during these 3 weeks. It says, number 1 is, have you been locking horns to no avail? Number 2, like, have you been butting heads, right? And this one is, have you been banging your head against a wall? Number 3, have your sexual desires distracted from your goals? And number 4, don't lose your balance over conflict. Yeah, definitely with all this fiery energy, that is definitely a good, good piece of advice for all of us during this time. All right, now we're going to pull some cards here just to get some clarification on what else the Creator wants you to know about this period. And we're going to use first this Naked Heart Tarot, and I'm going to pull like 3 groups of cards. And what I've been doing, which I've enjoyed with these new moon and full moon readings, is pull cards for the week before the full moon, the week after the full moon, and then 2 weeks after the full moon before the new moon starts. So that's what we're going to do here. And one more time. All right, Creator, so for the week before the full moon, what do we want our Taurans to know? Okay. Those 2. And then what about the week after the full moon? Okay, 2 for that one too. Goodness. And then what about the second week after the full moon? Okay, 2, 2, and 2. A lot of information. But we will take all we can get. We don't have a user's manual, so this is what we use, right? And then this is the Wild Unknown Tarot. And we're also going to pull some cards from here for each of the weeks. So the week before the full moon, okay. 2 again, my goodness. And then the week after the full moon. Okay. And then what about the third? Okay. Those 2 there. All right. So let's dive in. So the week before the full moon, you've got the Spirit of Swords, which is the King of Swords. So when this was talking all about your mind, your mentality, and all of that, I mean, this is perfect because swords are all about your mind. It's your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And so this is beautiful because it's definitely the ruler of the mind. And so this makes total sense with this happening the week before, as all this energy starts to come in. What's beautiful also is that the King of Swords holds the Ace of Swords, which the Ace of Swords means that you're finding truths, your inner truths. You're also discovering what it is that you're ready to let go of. You're ready to slice away. You're ready to what's no longer serving you, you're ready to let it go. And I thought these were leaves, but when you look at them, they're actually butterflies, right? So it's like this transformation of your mind and your beliefs and your mindsets during this time. So this energy really is about this beautiful mental evolution and clarity that comes for you as well. Yep. And then you have the Movement of Pentacles, which this would normally be the Knight of Pentacles in the regular deck. Spirit of Swords is King of Swords. And Movement are the Knights. Now, out of the 4 Knights that are in a deck, the Knight of, or Movement of Pentacles, is the slower one. It's not such rapid, fast movement. So this is about taking your time, not rushing, allowing cycles to unfold. If you kind of think of it as the Pentacles are the outside world, and the outside world moves in a very specific way. It has 4 seasons. That's how things unfold. A seed is planted, a seed grows, a seed then, or the whatever fruit it bears is then harvested, and then you go into the death, or the where it becomes goes into hibernation during the winter. How plants will even shrink, and they're still living under the ground, but the outside dies, and then that becomes fertilizer for spring when the new growth comes up and out. And so that's kind of like this understanding and having the patience to go forward. You're, making jumps and leaps, but you're taking the time. It's not this rush. You're still making progress. You're still taking steps, but you're taking your time, and it's okay. Because you really, for this week before the full moon anyway, you're really zeroing in on your inner world with your mind and not so much the external world yet. And then you have the Mother of Swords. So you had the King of Swords, or the Spirit, and now you have the Mother, which is the Queen of Swords. And this is beautiful. So definitely a week that you're in your mind. And both the King and the Queen, of course, are at the end of the suit. And so they've learned a lot. They're the masters of the mental world because they have gone through the Ace all the way up to the Queen and King in this case. And the Queen does bring in the divine feminine feel about it. And you couldn't see the owl, so they really has this wisdom of knowing what is important. And again, holding the Ace of Swords, which is about finding that understanding of what is a small t truth of the ego and the capital T truths of the higher realm, that's where wisdom comes. You get knowledge in the external world, but you get wisdom from the, eternal world. And she also, with that divine feminine, has understood that when you make decisions just in your mind, just with logic, just with knowledge, it doesn't always necessarily fit in alignment with what we're trying to accomplish in our lives and where we want to go and how we want to feel. So she learned to bring in emotion as well into decision making, into the mind, because there's this beautiful relationship between our hearts and our minds. And so she's all about, yes, don't forget to bring in the heart as well. Yeah, because here you have the Lovers. So definitely don't forget about, love. And again, that doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be, intimate partners. It can be friends, family, just anyone in the outside world. And there's this beautiful story that I heard about the Lover's card, which totally fits in with this, looking at your small t truths and your capital T truths, because it's the number 6, and that's the major arcana, and the numbers 4s and 5s before this are the Emperor and the Hierophant, and they're very much about how the human side of us, in its attempt to define and understand, comes up with all the rules, the social rules, society, all our should be's, need to's, have to's, and all those for us to get along and not kill, more of ourselves, as we gather into large groups. It's like you have to have some rules or you're going to end up just always being upset and in chaos. So it tries to help bring some order to the chaos of the world. And then the ego gets involved and it becomes a little more about power and remaining in power and gaining more power. But, there is that intent to have less chaos, but also there's a little selfishness in there. And the Hierophant does the same thing, but it's more about our spiritual practice as humans. And so that's like religious leaders and spiritual type leaders that try to bring some order around the universe and the spiritual world, which with both of those ends up feeling suppressed. All that to get to the number 6, the Lovers, which one of the first times that we are brave enough to go against rules, like family rules or whatever, and avoid being grounded or punished, is when we have passion about something. Usually someone will have some sort of, urges in ourselves towards someone, whether it's love or, we just have all those hormones going and we're like, I must have that, whether it's a person or, even, if it's a band or an artist that you love to hear, some people will break the rules to go to a concert because it's like, I must hear them. I have a chance to see them live. I must go, it's all that feeling. And so that is like, you're getting this understanding of your passions, your capital T truths, and you're able to let go of your small t truths, because you're really finding something that you find willing to commit to, like start a quest towards, that you're willing to question the small t truths. So I really love that. And of course, there was some mention in here about is sex, and you're getting you, distracting you from your goals and your dreams. And so that also kind of jumped into my head when I saw that card pop up. So that's all the week before. Beautiful foundation of moving into the week after the full moon, which you do. Okay, so you have the 5 of Swords. So again, swords, mind, thoughts, beliefs. And usually in a lot of cards, you'll see the 5 of Swords, that someone was victorious and other people got butthurt about it and are walking away because they're tired of always losing to you. And but I look at it as, people, you're realizing that it's always this kind of battle in our head of, I may have won the battle, but I lost the war, right? It's like, well, I was right, but now they don't care because they're not going to be around me anymore because they're tired of me being a know-it-all, and thinking that way. And so there's this beautiful awareness that comes where we're challenging our beliefs. And even, as represented in here, you've got your beliefs, and you've got, or you got other people's beliefs, and you've got your beliefs. And here you have the Ace of Swords going, what am I going to cut away? And this is like this, I don't want to say a struggle, but it's this, like the sorting of your thoughts and your beliefs, and you're looking at them going, okay, which is true? So it's like this investigation is a better word. You're investigating your truths, like we were talking about here, but here you're doing the chopping. And so that's where some conflict might come up within you, within your mind, and about your thoughts, because you're like, well, but I've always believed that. And it's like, but that feels more true, but I've always believed that. Yeah, but look at this. Yeah, but look at that. And you're having this little argument in your head as you're sorting through, you're sifting through your thoughts and your beliefs and your attitudes, and you're doing some cleaning. Yeah, and here you have the Sun, which is beautiful. So this, it does have a very much of about victory, success, bringing things into the light, light of day. And there's also this, because usually they have a child that is like riding on a horse, which represents kind of like this, going back to this purity, going back to this, and he's naked, the little baby's naked riding the horse. It's like, it's naked under the sun. It's not afraid to have everything exposed. And so with that bright sun, nothing can be hidden. And this is what you're wanting. I really feel like you're just like, I'm tired of this wishy-washiness. I want truth, and I don't care what it is. I want to shine light on it. And so I really feel that's what you're doing with that as well. Yeah, because in here you have the 7 of Swords. Swords, all about the mind, like it was saying. And the 7 of Swords, sometimes they're like, watch out for tricky people, sly as a fox. But again, this is about what is being brought to you. You're looking at, how am I deceiving myself? Is really what I look at with the 7 of Swords. It's like, how are other people deceiving me? Is sometimes the message in the card, depending on where it's put in the reading. But because of what we're, this message that is unfolding, I feel like this is certainly about you, and how are your thoughts deceiving yourself? How are you pulling the wool over your own eyes? How is your ego tricking you? But this is totally makes sense to me. You got the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. This is all about really the conflict the budding of thoughts coming, coming in. But I love that the sun is here, because that totally makes this about your truth. And the sun is also the ego. When you're looking at astrology, it's a lot about your human character ego side. So you're really having this bright light shine upon what these small t truths are. And you're really using that, this inner discovery that you're having with these capital T truths to understand. It's like night and day between them, right? Because one's based on fear, the other's based on unconditional love, and it's this contrast of night and day. It's the sun and then the shadow that's cast from the sun, right? And then you move into the second week after the full moon. You got the Three of Pentacles. And this is really about, Pentacles are your outside world, your worth, your finances, your abundance, just the outside experience in your life. And this is about, you have this work that's going on, and you're creating something. Ants, that's what ants do. They'll create nests, or they'll create bridges across things, and they'll do all that together. And there's this message that comes with the Three of Pentacles for me lately, ever since I did readings for the Libra. It was the new moon, Libra new moon, because there was this one deck that I was using, and it showed someone that was creating things, and they're faced this way, and they have someone who's in front of them giving them support for what they're doing, and there's someone behind them. And the message that I get is that they're, the dream stompers, the people that are talking behind your back and going, oh, well, I don't think that's very good. Why don't you do it this way? The people that try to poke holes because they feel so low, they want to bring you down to where they think they're at. And the awareness that came is that, that's criticism. But also this person who's praising you will give you constructive criticism, but when you get rid of that constructive off there, it's still criticism. That this external world, that you're gonna, you have these individuals who are telling you who you should be, what you should be doing, and that suppresses your creativity and on doing what you want to do and where you want to head. And so the message that came with it is a lot like the butterfly, caterpillar to the butterfly. The caterpillar doesn't go around asking for opinions on, hey, everybody, I'm thinking about becoming a butterfly. What do you think? And everyone has, I don't think you should be a butterfly. I think you should be turned into, a moth. I think you should turn into, an anteater or whatever. It's like, no, the caterpillar knows what it wants. It goes into its cocoon. It transforms. It lets pieces of itself go and liquefy to go through that transformation into the butterfly. And then it goes through the struggle of getting out of the cocoon, which makes its little wing muscles strong. And then after it gets out of the cocoon, after that struggle, it goes and experiences flight, a whole new way of being. And so I really feel this is about, as you're getting through all these thoughts and these beliefs and these expectations, you really come into this aha that you never, no one's ever going to be 100% happy with what you're doing, because they have their own journeys they're dealing with, their own thoughts and beliefs and all these expectations. And so everyone has different ones, and they contradict each other, and you're not going to be able to please all the people any of the time, or any of the people any of the time either. And so you're really realizing that you get to create what you want to create. The number 3 is all about creativity. So it's you get to focus your energy on creating what you want, not everyone else. And it's a beautiful awareness around even people who praise you. It's like, okay, that's an opinion. Usually we look at, okay, people are criticizing us, like, oh, that's just their opinion. And then people who praise us, we're like, oh my gosh, they know the truth, But the awareness that comes with this is like, oh, that's just an opinion, because like the wind and the weather, their opinion can change in the drop of a hat. So I'm not going to use that to define and direct me. I'm going to direct myself. Okay, all of that. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles, which this is all about doing the work. This is all about doing the work. Just keep doing what you're doing because you're creating beautiful things and you're enjoying doing what you're doing. So definitely focus in on what you want to be doing because it brings you joy. And there's this, they play like this movie in my head, the Spirit does, where I see someone who is like, it's in the, like the, kind of the medieval times is kind of what I see it set in my mind. And there's like this, a blacksmith, and they're in this little small town, and they have their own little, own little hut of a shop, and they're creating and putting the skills that they want to. They're creating beautiful, works. And the townspeople that are there, it doesn't cost very much to live there, so he has enough business to live and enjoy. And because he's passionate about what he's doing, everyone is like, wow, look at his work, because his creativity is just flowing and creating this beautiful stuff. And then they're like, and then they kind of rewind and have him in a city, and he's working in this sweatshop factory where they're all making the same thing, and he's just humdrum. Wakes up in the morning like, I have to go again. And he does, and he puts in his long hours, and they seem like really, really long hours, where he might even put in more hours in the other scenario, but he's loving it, enjoying it, and it doesn't feel like work. It's his dream. And that's kind of what I feel, that difference that they're showing you here as well. Oh, boom. And you have the Sun again. Shazam! So yeah, definitely success, beautiful, enlightenment, victory, success, everything I said about it in the Sun there. Yeah. And you have death and rebirth, which is great. This isn't a bad card. This is all about you're letting those things go that no longer serve you, those old ways, because this is the difference between the two. This is like working in that factory, it's going to kill you. And this is living your life and your dream. It's pretty much sums it up. Shazam! So I love that. Beautiful. I don't think there's anything more I can add to that. Definitely. It is a 3-week period of the small T truce with your capital T truce, funneling that energy, like a lightning rod into what you want to do, brings you this amazing thing. So you're taking your time before the full moon to dig in and understand what you want. And it's movement, it's slow movement on the outside world. And then you move and you continue to sift through and understand and start to chop away those things that no longer are serving you even more so. You started to do it. You've got the Ace of Swords in there, the Ace of Swords are here, the Ace of Swords here, the Ace of Swords here, and all these cards, they have moved that sword away from the rest for you to be able to see it. And so you're doing this chopping, and then this is when it really moves into the outside world, because you make a decision and so loving it for you. I'm going to leave it there. And just know as you're going throughout this 3-week period that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. Have an amazing mental adventure. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care.